Guys, I have this 2010 G37 Coupe 7-speed. Came in for a tune. It's on stock injectors, has stock intakes, just has exhaust. We came in, I noticed he had a key problem, but since he's tuning, I went ahead and did it for free. Normally I charge to reprogram the key. Normally the key does have multiple multiple systems, so it's not a simple guess to see how to fix it. But this particular case I already knew, so I just did it for free. I didn't charge him, and now the car starts with zero problems. Jesus. All right, the baseline was 261 wheel horsepower. That's pretty low, but of course it has no tune, so sometimes the cars just really need a tune. We're gonna find out. So we have 275 wheel horsepower, again 14.6 wheel horsepower. You can see the new line is the gray one. There's the torque, again a good power. It's a little bit on the low side. The engine does have a lot of miles, but on top of that I don't know other like maintenance stuff on it. So it's about there on our dyno. I mean, it does have stock intakes. Basically a stock car, just has exhaust. And that's it for this one here. What's up, guys? I have this guy that brought in 3 ECUs. I thought he had talked to me in the messages, but he didn't. He just dropped it off at the shop here and left a note with his number, so I went ahead and called him. He has a rev up 350Z, and it doesn't turn on. He's diagnosed it himself, and he's came to the conclusion that the ECU is the issue. I'm gonna tell you guys right now, most likely it is not the issue. I'm trying to save him money because he wants me to turn off NATs, but that's non-refundable because I have to use a license to do it, and I have to pay for the license, and licenses are non-refundable even for me. So in the event that doesn't work, I can't, issue a refund if no one's gonna issue me a refund. So it's non-refundable. So when it comes to NATs off, I always tell people that it's non-refundable, so be sure it's what you want. So I started asking him questions, and then he told me that his car has no spark and I believe no fuel. And then he said one of the ECUs starts his car, which is a 03, so obviously it's the wrong year ECU, but a regular DE will still turn on a rev up motor. It'll still turn on, just have check engine lights, and it might run a little funny power reduction as well. But you could run it like that for years and the car will run. So obviously it's the wrong ECU. You want to have the correct ECU, not taking advantage of the rev up stuff using the wrong ECU. So he said he tried this one on a couple friends' cars and it turns on all of their cars, which it shouldn't because the key needs to be programmed. So most likely he's assuming, which he is correct, that NATS is off. So I went ahead and double checked on this one, and yeah, NATS is off on this one. But he tried it on his car that has the problem where the car doesn't start. Yeah, hello. So on his car that it doesn't start, and it still does not start the car. So he just, assume, okay, I'll just turn off NATs on the rev up. But no, this will also turn on the rev up car. So once he told me that, I told him most likely you have a problem in your car. So he already diagnosed it as far as he could. I recommended he bring it here to us for us to diagnose, because it's not going to be an ECU problem. It's going to be something else. If he wants to keep figuring it out, obviously it's on him, but I already gave him some advice based off of what he told me, so that way he doesn't waste money just doing the NATs off. And then he wants me to program the VIN as well on the new ECU, but it's most likely doesn't need another ECU. His stock one will work. It's just he has a problem with the car. But if it was an ECU, for some reason he wants to get a different ECU, which is totally up to him. I also told him, I don't want you to waste money, so leave the VIN programming till after you figure it out, because if he pays me to program the VIN on his car, and that the ECU doesn't fix, the new ECU doesn't fix the problem, he just wasted more money. So I always try to save you guys. I always try to save you guys money. So I told him that, and he seems to understand it. I told him I was gonna check to see if this one has nats off, which it does. So I need to call him back, and that's pretty much it for that. He just needs to diagnose it further himself, or just bring it here. I kind of have a feeling I know what it is. It's the smallest little thing. It's very, very common. It always happens on DEs. It's just old. So if he brings it here, I'm pretty sure we'll figure it out the same day that he brings it, if we can get to it. Sometimes when the cars come in, I'll ask, you know, because that's not my actual business. I only do the tuning. I'll ask to see what's wrong with this car, what's wrong with that car, and then based off of that, I kind of already know what's wrong. They just need to diagnose it to make sure. All right, guys, I have this 2015 Q50. It only has an axle back exhaust. Everything else is completely stock. $249.99. So let's just say 250 wheel and 227 wheel torque. So 250 wheel horsepower, 227 wheel torque. That's very, very low. So let's see if there's something wrong somewhere or it just needs a tune. But I already explained it to him, and I told him that it's pretty low, even for our dyno. So it could be a variety of things. Let's just say it could be the cats. They do smell a little bit, like a tiny bit, so it could be they're barely starting to go out. But if that's not the issue, it could be other things. He did do some maintenance to it before he brought it over for the tune. So this guy always staring at me all sexually. And yeah, so we're gonna see. Hopefully it just needs a tune, because that's not the numbers it should be at, because it's basically stock. All right, we are at 255. We have 5.9, so let's say 6 wheel horsepower peak gains. Not where the numbers should be at, but it's better. So let's see if maybe we can figure something out. If not, maybe something's wrong with the motor. Well, I figured out the problem just by looking at the logs. Now gain 34 wheel is gonna feel big difference. Simple issue. Simple, very simple. You go somewhere else, they'll probably never figure it out. All right, here we are deleting a tune from another tuner. About to tune this one here. It came from San Diego, I think. Sorry guys, I forgot. I know it's from somewhere over there. I have this 2010 370Z, the second car I'm tuning from him. Thank you very much for returning to me. I don't know why you would come back to me. And while they're just doing some touch-ups on the boosted car, I am programming the TPMS, tire pressure monitor sensors, on this 350Z. Guys, so that boosted 370Z, I didn't really explain much on it, but it's believe 1050cc injectors. It's on E85, has a 525 fuel pump, and it was supposed to do 7 pounds of boost, but it's only doing about 3.5. We did find a lot of loose things that they installed everything themselves. Nothing was done here. We're able to fix actually a good amount of things pretty quickly, luckily, because you know, you do it yourself, you bring the car, that means the car is ready to tune. You know, it's not here to get fixed. When you come to tune, that means it's ready to tune. But we did find some things that they're unable to fix right here, so they're gonna take it back and try and fix it. So it made 340 at 3 pounds. And printing some stuff out for George. I let him find this because finding all this stuff is very confusing. Specific stuff on the service manual. So I just let him get on my computer and let him find it, and then printed it out for him, and he's gonna diagnose this 350Z. So guys, I have this 05 G35 coupe. It was a rev up. The car has no tune on this. The motor went out, and the owner of this car got a engine swap, but it's a regular DE, so it's no longer a rev up. And now I just have to do some things in the ECU to let it know it's no longer a rev up. And that's it for this one.